Hi, I'm Joyce Mancarius, Policy and Communications Manager at the Greater Sudbury Chamber of Commerce. I'm here today with Paul Pedersen, who is the Chief of Police for us here in Greater Sudbury, and he's also our guest speaker at today's President Series Luncheon. Paul, thanks so much for agreeing to do this little 4 and 4 discussion with us.
Truly my pleasure.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
So our first question for you, now coming from the York region, what's different about policing in Sudbury? Is anything unique in your opinion?
Yeah, so the first thing is there's more things the same than different. And I think people here in Sudbury, like people down south, really people across the country, they want to feel safe, they want to feel secure, they want to feel that they're getting value out of their public organizations, and policing certainly wants to provide that value. So that much is the same. I think the thing that I see as the biggest difference is the economy. So where in York region, for example, they grow by 25 to 40,000 people every year. Up here, the growth isn't as fast. And so where I was used to teams of people doing a single job, I've now got a single person on multiple teams. And yet, the public expectations are the same. A person should expect the same level of service in Sudbury as they get down south. So for me, it's about being able to deliver the value, deliver the service on a very, very lean budget.
With limited resources, right?
Absolutely.
Thanks for that. Our second question for you. One of the concerns we hear about the police service is the ever-increasing budget requests that exceed inflation.
Right.
In your mind, can you explain why the service needs this type of funding and what's the justification behind it?
We, like everybody else, are taxpayers and we want to see good value. I think when you get into that conversation, you really also need to ask two questions. What's driving the costs? And what are the public expectations? So when you look at cost drivers on the economics of community safety and well-being, not just policing, but economics of community safety and well-being, you're looking at the judicial system impacting as much as 40% of the direct costs in policing. The second thing that we talk about with drivers of cost is the variety of things that we do, from mental health to addictions to homelessness, all of those things where other agencies used to provide a level of service, and now as the system of last defense, it's falling on police. And then public expectations. We are one of the only services, certainly one of the only public services, where the public expects 24/7, 365 human response. Those complexities and public expectations are driving the costs of community safety and well-being, and that's why the debate can't be answered in one magic answer.
And our third question for you, Paul, Police Services has been consulting on a new business plan in recent months. I know you've consulted with industry, you consulted with educators. What's surprising? What have you been hearing so far in terms of common threads?
Yeah, again, very excited about this. Some of the things that I wasn't expecting is, and it's nice to hear, is that we do have a lot of public support. The other pieces are pretty standard. Of course, what we're hearing is not less policing, we're hearing more policing. We want more police visibility, we want to focus on youth, we want to focus on distracted driving, and those things I think are pretty standard in just about every community. And one of the reasons that we're able to move forward with this exciting new strategy for community safety personnel that will allow us to deliver service while still remaining economically fiscal.
That's good to hear, thank you. And our fourth and final question, can you talk a little bit about the importance of innovation in Sudbury's new policing model, the nickel?
Right, and so this nickel model, as we call it here, is really, as far as I'm concerned, the future of community safety and well-being. It really is the focus of what's being talked about nationally and internationally. Here in Sudbury, we have a strategy that's been adopted by the city, but also been pushed out to a whole bunch of different community partners, and everybody's on board. It is fantastic. We have something in our community called a risk management table. A number of different partners bringing together stories with people or situations where there's elevated risk for crime or a need to intervene before things escalate to more serious problems. In the very first few months, as an example from Greater Sudbury Police Service, we've brought 32 cases to this table. Of those 32 cases, we've only retained the lead as the lead agency 16 times.
Oh, really?
So that means in the past, we would have held on to all 32 of it. But now, not only are we not holding on to it, but it's going to the places where they should take the lead. Mental health, addictions, homelessness, managed alcohol programs. And I'm proud to say we are one of the first municipalities to go in this direction, and one of only 9 sites in the province where we're actually starting to work on a framework for safety planning. So before things get bad, let's plan how we can build a community that's safe.
That was great, Paul. Thanks again for joining us today for a Forum for Discussion.
Truly my pleasure. Thank you.
And thank you all for watching. Again, I'm Joyce from the Greater Sudbury Chamber of Commerce. Have a great day.